On this episode of PDubs Arcade Loft, we're going to take a look at this BurgerTime cabinet. This BurgerTime cabinet from Arcade1Up. I've had it for about a month. Haven't had a chance to film a review for it yet, so we're going to throw one out there. Let's take a look and see how they did. Okay guys, we're back, and of course I did pay for this cabinet out of pocket, out of my own expenses, about a month ago. I did do a live stream about a month ago where I had my first impressions on playing on this particular cabinet, and I've had it for about a month. Wanted to give you guys a follow-up, let you know what I think overall. Obviously, appearance-wise, this thing is very, very sexy. Arcade1Up did a good job on the appearance of the cabinet, mimicking things such as the misspelling of Peter Pepper on the original cabinet, as well as coming up with a beautiful bezel design, control deck design, as well as the side panels and the riser. I love the white, red, and yellow mixture on the control deck. Of course, we have our toggle switch for our volume controls. Taking a look at the actual riser itself, the front panel, I think they did a really good job. It looks really, really good. The kick plate is the traditional black kick plate with the games listed. Really impressed though with the marquee. The marquee obviously arrived in great shape. Nothing was loose, nothing was damaged, and it looks great. And of course we have our newer user interface we're seeing on these later generation Arcade1Up cabinets that's bright, colorful, inviting, letting you want to play the 4 games included. The front of the riser is orange, but the side panels of the riser are blue with a fun graphical design to it, a mixture of blue and orange, and it actually blends really well, and it does actually look really good on the side panels of this cabinet. And of course we have that traditional recreation of the original BurgerTime cabinet shape, and it looks really cool. Job well done here by Arcade1Up. The first game included on the cabinet is Caveman Ninja, and of course we have a horizontal game on a vertical screen. This is a side-scrolling run and gunner. Arcade1Up does a great job putting these splash screens in now with all your controls. They look even better than ever before. Taking a look at this particular game, obviously because it's a horizontal game on a vertical screen, they're only showing you about a 12-inch diagonal playfield when you're playing these games, which is a little concerning. You do get used to it after a while if you're doing an extended gameplay session, but at first you're like, wait a minute, I'm playing on a really small screen here. When it comes to the actual controls for this particular game, the controls included with the cabinet, are, Sanwa clones. But this is a limited edition cabinet, just like the Marvel cabinet. This one only has 3,075 units that they're producing. They're still available. They haven't sold them all, as far as I can tell. Taking a look here, though, but for, $400, which I believe is what the cost of this one was, $400 plus shipping, considering that was the same price as the Marvel Limited Edition cabinet, I think Arcade1Up could have gone with giving us real controls, especially with the rising cost of these cabinets. I think it's only fair to the community that we start putting in the real stuff, the real Sanwa, sticks and buttons, considering the price of the cabinets. Don't get me wrong, these controls will work out of the box, but they are clones, and considering this cabinet costs just as much as the Marvel cabinet, I feel we should have gotten the real stuff in here. Considering these cabinets are now in the $400 to $600 range, especially when you include tax and shipping, I think we deserve the real stuff. Just my opinion. The second game included on this cabinet, of course, is Bad Dudes. Now, Bad Dudes hasn't really aged well, and that's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of people out there that love this beat-em-up game. But it's just not my jam. It just hasn't aged well. It doesn't play well. Everything feels kind of stiff, and it just feels old. Which it is. It's old. That's what it is. But it's just a game that I really can't enjoy versus a ton of other old school beat-em-up, side-scrolling beat-em-up games that still play well to this day. Just not a fan of this game, personally. But considering reviewing it, looking at it on this cabinet, your controls, they work. The screen, again, we have a horizontal game on a vertical screen that's only taking up about a 12-inch playfield. And, it's okay, and again, kind of like the Caveman game, you kind of get used to it. Switching gears to Karate Champ, guys, this is obviously, there's two headliners on this cabinet, Karate Champ as well as BurgerTime. In my live stream video that I did a month ago, I said, hey, out of the box, Karate Champ was my favorite game to play, and it is my favorite game to play on this particular cabinet. Definitely a learning curve. Haven't been able to spend as much time on the cabinet as I wanted to, but anytime I do fire up this cabinet, I play Karate Champ. That's the first game I play. It's a lot of fun, and although the two joysticks that you use for moving and attacks and defense with your character, although the joysticks are really, really close together, they work, and it's a lot of fun to play. This is a fun game to master, and who doesn't love figuring out how to do that back roundhouse kick and knocking your opponent on the ground, or sweep the leg, Johnny. I really, really enjoy this particular game, and it's probably my favorite game to play on this cabinet. The only issue is those joysticks are just a little bit too close together, but then again, we have to remember we are playing on a 3/4 scale arcade, but this game, I think, was done really, really well on this cabinet. I am hoping that as I continue to try to find time to play this game on the cabinet, that I will get better and better, and hopefully eventually set high scores. But guys, there is a learning curve on this game, that is for sure. You can't let it frustrate you. You can't let it get you down. Eventually you will master it, and it's really, really cool. I mean, it is definitely a retro classic. And there we go, baby. Roundhouse kick to the face. All right, let's head on over to BurgerTime. Now, this obviously is the top star of this particular cabinet, and this game has had, you know, since the cabinet was originally launched and released, it's had its ups and downs. It's had a roller coaster of a ride. The first batch of cabinets shipped, and they just had just the square gates, and a lot of folks complain about having a bad gameplay experience. And for those first batch of customers, Arcade1Up mailed them separately 8-way restrictor gates. That way they could still play all the games on the cabinet, but have hopefully a better experience playing BurgerTime. Now, I did get this cabinet a month ago, so I was in like the second wave of folks who received their batch of BurgerTime cabinets. I know some folks are still waiting for theirs to show up. And in the second wave, and probably even the waves after this one, they pre-installed those 8-way restrictor gates, which was a nice touch. They didn't have to mail it separately, and I didn't have to install it. Now, keep in mind, this game will play the best with 4-way controls. An 8-way gate, octagonal gate, I should say, the 8-way octagonal gate, it does help. But BurgerTime, it's a hard game. It is a hard game. You have to hit you have to hit the ladders and the turns at the right spot. You have to be at the right spot on the blue, or else you're gonna muff up. And this game, you know, a lot of people get frustrated with it because it is a classic game, but just like Karate Champ, it's got a learning curve to it. And once you figure it out, you'll be able to, you know, set high scores and play with the very, very best of them. This is a game that naturally I'm just not that great at. The 8-way gates help. I think I would do better with a 4-way gate, but then again, I wouldn't be able to play the other games on the cabinet. So it's kind of a catch-22. I think that this was, again, just a confusing game selection pick by Arcade1Up, mixing horizontal and vertical games on the same cabinet, as well as mixing 8-way and 4-way games. I think this feedback is honest feedback that a lot of folks have given them, that let's try and keep the game selection consistent for the screen ratio, as well as let's keep the game selection consistent for the controls. That way the users, especially considering the cost of these machines, can have the best experience possible. Overall, I've had the cabinet for about a month. It arrived in perfect condition, which is always nice to see when your cabinet arrives without a scratch, ding, mark, or dent on it. And after having it a month and playing it, although I haven't played it daily or anything of that nature, but playing it as often as I possibly could, I still think Karate Champ is the best game on here, followed up by BurgerTime. And then, of course, the horizontal games, I'll be honest, I have really no interest in playing those on this cabinet, which that's not really a good sign when you buy a cabinet for 4 games, but you're really only interested in playing 2. But then again, that's just my personal opinion. Now, overall, I think other folks won't mind it as much as I do. Totally fine, any of the concerns that I have. I do think that this cabinet On a scale of 10, probably a 7 out of 10, because we have a couple of issues. We didn't get real controls like we did for the Marvel Limited Edition, and this is a limited edition cabinet. We didn't get real Sanwa sticks, so -1 for that. We have a mixture of horizontal and vertical games on a vertical screen, so -1 for that. And then, of course, the controls, we have a mix of 4-way and 8-way games, and the solution was an octagonal gate, which helps, but still doesn't give the users the absolute best experience, so -1 for that. So overall, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful cabinet, a great piece of art to have in your arcade room. A lot of people will look at it and go, oh my god, that looks awesome! I know I still smile at it whenever I walk past it in my arcade loft. But overall, that's my rating on this one. If you really, really are a BurgerTime fan or a Karate Champ fan, I think you'll like this cabinet. Go ahead and get your order in before they run out. If you're not a BurgerTime or a Karate Champ fan, if those games just simply don't excite you, I would hold off, especially because these are limited edition. I don't think your arcade room is going to be missing anything. But if you're a die-hard fan, get your order in. Alright guys, that's what I have for you today. Thanks as always for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out upstairs with us. Comment, like, subscribe below, and I'll hope you guys have a great day.